Hello, everyone. It is Monday, July 13th, 2026, and it's a nice kind of been a little bit of a rainy day for where I live in Gainesville, Florida. And I know a lot of my friends and relatives, family that live across the Florida Panhandle saw a good bit of rain and thunderstorms today also. And then finally, Central Florida got more rain and thunderstorms. We basically have a frontal system that has shifted southward, although the actual front is way up in the Tennessee and North Carolina area. But what's happening in the upper level flow is being squeezed, or you got an area of high pressure across the Caribbean and the Southwest Atlantic that's creating a flow out of the southwest, and then you got an upper level area of high pressure that's over the southern or the northern plains, and so that the flow between the two is causing divergent winds. And so what that does is it's squeezing the moisture coming up from the Gulf together and making it rise right along the Gulf Coast and across south, basically all the way from central Texas, from like the Austin area, San Antonio, going all the way along the I-10 corridor, basically South Louisiana, South Mississippi, South Alabama, South Georgia, Florida, northern and the Panhandle, and then now in the northern parts of the peninsula of Florida are getting a good bit of rain and thunderstorms. So we are really getting lucky. So let me go ahead and share my screen here, and I'll just show you real quick what's going on. Let me show you the computer models first, but actually, before I show you that, let me show you the National Weather Service Tallahassee page. So this is for those of you in the Panama City area who I know. This is the heavy rainfall forecast. There is a slight risk of excessive rainfall, 15 to 39%. Over here at areas east of the Panhandle, over in Perry, Cross City, over towards Jacksonville, there is a marginal risk. So it's up to 15% chance. So the heaviest rain looks like it's going to fall over the Panhandle, South Alabama, and South Central and Southwestern Georgia. And this, look at this real quick. You can see anywhere where it's really dark, that's where most the most constant rain bands or rainfall is going to be setting up in kind of like little like a training area. It'll be going across the same basic area right over the Gulf coastal waters of the Northern Gulf and then the Appalachee Bay. And coincidentally, that rides inland over places like Cross City, Chiefland, going over to like Mayo, Branford, over to Fort White, and then High Springs, Gainesville, Alachua. And you can see this is the forecast for today. This is tonight. Heavy rain bands start to set up again south of Panama City over into like Mexico Beach over to Apalachicola. And then tomorrow you can see, yeah, pretty much along the Gulf coastal waters, there's like a 90 to 100% chance of rain. And let me go over here to the Jacksonville Weather Office and see what they have to say. Oh yeah, they're predicting almost an inch of rain for Gainesville. Wow, over 2 inches in places like Jacksonville and Orange Park, and then 1.9 inches out here towards McClinney. And then let's look at the radar out of no, let's look at the radar out of Valdosta. I like the Mal Valdosta radar because it shows the Panhandle all the way to my neck of the woods. So yeah, light rain is still falling over the Ocala area. There's some light sprinkles coming in around Cedar Key, going into Chiefland. There's still some light showers, light rain falling across southwest Georgia or south central Georgia, places like Tifton and Cordell, and over here towards Jimmy Carter Land, over here in Plains, Georgia, going southeast of Columbus, and going up here towards Macon. There's heavy thunderstorms up that way, but there's really not. It's kind of quieting down for tonight, but tomorrow will be similar weather for those of us who live in the Gainesville, Lake City area. It'll start out cloudy and humid in the morning. Probably temperatures will be in the mid 70s. It'll be very humid, and then clouds will roll in probably around 10 to 11:30. Our showers and storms will ride in from the west off of Appalachie Bay, and it'll rain for 2 or 3 hours. Then we'll get a break and some sun will probably come out. But let me show you the computer model forecast real quick, and let me show you some interesting things that the Euro AI is showing here. Let me back out here because this. Let's go back here, And I will show you here, we do have what appears to be the stalled out front, and you can see how it stretches all the way from central Texas all the way to Savannah, Georgia. We get some breaks here during the week, like on Thursday and Friday. There's going to be a lesser rain chance across Northeast Florida, Northern Florida, between the 14th and 16th. However, it looks like a disturbance, a lowering pressure is going to start setting up across the eastern Gulf, and that will be between the 17th and the 22nd. And by the 22nd, a cold front comes down and kind of stalls across Florida on the 23rd of July. 24th, it's rainy. There's a front across Florida in July. That's crazy. And it's a real linear looking. So it looks like basically places from Lake City down through Orlando, Gainesville, Tampa, over towards Melbourne. Going to be some high rain chances over the next. We're going to see a break in the rain by about Wednesday through Friday. There'll still be a slight chance of rain, about 30 to 40% every day, but not the high chance like we're having today and Tuesday. But then by it looks like Saturday and Sunday, the lowering pressure develops over the eastern Gulf and gives the west coast of Florida and the peninsula a pretty high chance of rain going all the way through the 22nd, and 23rd of the month. And you can see that frontal system coming down. This is moisture coming in from the Caribbean, and then we have an interesting feature here coming in from the southeast. Looks like a tropical wave, maybe, or maybe even a tropical depression tries to crank out northwest of the or northeast of the Bahamas. But I kind of doubt that because the weather is um, not really supportive of such a feature developing. Let me also go to the. Let me just show you the this weather map right here, this weather satellite, just to give you an overview. We have a system looks like it is developing over the western or eastern Pacific right here. This is the feature I was talking about yesterday, or excuse me, a few days ago that was right here that didn't look like it was doing anything. Now it looks like it's doing something. Go figure. But you can see all this cloud cover across the southern U.S. going from Texas to South Carolina. That's why we're going to see inclement rainy weather across Florida and the deep south for about the next next 1 to 2 days. And then something will start sputtering here off the west coast of Florida or in the vicinity of Florida by next Monday and Tuesday, which will enhance our rain chances once again across Florida. So look forward to a couple of days of some sunny, hot weather and then really high chances of rain again starting this late weekend into our middle of next week. So we're going to get used to lots of rain again. I think this might actually end our drought here in Florida. So I'm happy about that. So that's great. So anyway, let me let you go and I will check in again in 2 days because I feel like the weather is getting to be more active and I don't want to miss out on anything. So I hope you all have a good evening and I will see you next time.